Dear children, welcome all of you to the online classes of biology. So, in the previous classes, we have seen various kinds of plant tissues. We have studied about the simple meristematic tissues first, then we have studied about the permanent tissues, and in that, we have studied different kinds of permanent tissues like simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. So, today we are going to revise the animal tissues. Okay, so I have told already the tissues present in plants and animals, they are entirely different, isn't it? Due to what different reasons? Plants are stationary, animals are mobile. Okay, and what they need to respond very less when compared to animals. Plants, they need to respond very less. So likewise, their growth is continuous all through their life, and in plants, animals, the growth is limited, or after a particular age the animals will not grow by cell division. Understood? So all this are the differences, and due to this the tissues in animals and plants are completely different. So animal tissues we have already studied. There are four different types of animal tissues, isn't it? So each of them, okay, or these tissues are modified to perform different functions. Okay, so for example, for the movement of the body, if we need to move from one place to another, which type of tissue helps? Muscular tissues, isn't it? So the contraction and relaxation of the cells of muscular tissue helps in the movement. And in our body, there is need of oxygen and other materials, isn't it, to be transported. So how this transport of materials takes place, like oxygen should be given to each of the cells, and in the cells what respiration takes place and it releases carbon dioxide that has to be removed. So this kind of what transport, and likewise what food, digested food should be reached to each of the cells, and the waste materials produced should be collected and should be brought to what to the different systems, isn't it? So for all this some medium is needed. That medium is what? Blood. Understood? So blood helps to transport the material. So blood is also one kind of what? Cell, tissue, isn't it? So then blood and muscles, they are examples of tissues found in our body. Understood? So likewise depends upon different functions they do. Tissues can be divided into four different types in animals. Okay, so the first type is epithelial tissues. What is the specialty of epithelial tissues? Where you can find them? They are found, okay, on the outer covering, okay, of the body, and also in the cavities. Okay, the cavity, various cavities are covered by epithelial cells. Okay, so the covering or protective tissues in animals are what? Epithelial tissues. And I told it covers most of the organs, then cavities, and also our body. Okay, it forms a barrier to keep different body systems separate. Then the skin, the lining of the mouth, the lining of blood vessels, lung alveoli, okay, kidney tubules, all these are made up of which kind of tissues? Epithelial tissues. Okay, when we see the specialities of them, epithelial tissues are tightly packed without any intercellular space, and they form a continuous sheet. Okay, and in between them I told there is very less intercellular space and the cementing material also. Okay, so anything that is entering or leaving the body should cross at least one layer of epithelium. Understood? So the permeability of the cells of various epithelia they play an important role in exchange of materials between the body and the external environment. Okay. Then there is another important feature of epithelial tissue, that is presence of a basement membrane. Okay, there is a basement membrane which lie down to the epithelial tissues. Okay, so all the epithelial tissues, any kind of any type of epithelial tissues you take. Okay, epithelium is separated from the underlying tissue, means the tissues which are found just below the below the epithelial tissues and the epithelial tissues, they are separated by an extracellular fibrous basement membrane. So that is one of the basic characteristic of what? The epithelial tissue. Okay, then depends on the different, okay, structures or the functions, they are of different types. Okay, depends upon the functions they have to do in different parts of the body, they are of different types. Okay, for example, in cells lining blood vessels or lung alveoli. Okay, what is the major function that they have to do? Their transportation of substances, isn't it? So through a selectively permeable membrane, so there is simple flat kind of epithelium will be there, and they are known as the squamous epithelium. Okay, so squamous epithelium, where you can find in wherever the transportation of substances is needed by osmosis or by diffusion, etc. Understood? The material, if it has to be transported, for example, where in the lining of blood vessels or lung alveoli. Okay, transportation of substances occurs there. What is there? Epithelial, the epithelial tissue present in them will be very thin, and they are known as what? Squamous epithelium. You can see here different what diagrams. Squamous means, you see, it is just thin, okay, tile like. Okay, then another type present, okay, or which are helpful in absorption and secretion. Okay, they are tall epithelial cells and they are known as columnar. Okay, columnar. Okay, and when they are helpful in what, when they are cube shaped, they are known as cuboidal epithelium. Likewise, three types mainly depends on the shape of the cells. They are there. What are they? Squamous epithelium, columnar epithelium, and cuboidal epithelium. Okay, so I told the simple squamous epithelium, where you can find in the the walls, okay, lining of blood vessels or lung alveoli, etc. Okay, and even in esophagus. Okay, esophagus means the food pipe, isn't it? Esophagus. Then the lining of mouth, etc. We can see squamous epithelium, isn't it? Which protects the body. Then in skin, you can see epithelial cells are arranged in many layers. Okay, many layers of cells are there. These are known as stratified squamous epithelium. What is it? Stratified, different strata or layers if it is there, then it is known as what? Stratified. So where you can see in skin, isn't it? Example, skin epithelial cells are arranged in many layers, and these are, okay, since they are arranged in pattern of layers, they are known as what? Stratified squamous epithelium. Other epithelium which are found in alveoli or esophagus, all that are what? Simple, means only one layer is there. So only it is known as simple. And if it is in many layers, then we call it as what? Stratified epithelium. Okay, stratified epithelium, and here it is stratified squamous epithelium. Okay. Then I told another type of epithelial tissue is columnar. Means what? Pillar like. Okay, which helps in the movement across the epithelial barrier. Okay, example, in respiratory tract, the columnar epithelium, they are having cilia also, and these are known as, okay, the ciliated epithelium, ciliated columnar epithelium. Okay, so what is the function of it? The movement across the epithelial barrier. Okay, the in the respiratory tract, the columnar epithelium tissue has cilia, okay, which is having hair-like projections. Okay, and this cilia's movement pushes the mucus forward to clear it. Understood? So this type of columnar epithelia with cilia is known as ciliated columnar epithelium. Understood? Now cuboidal epithelium means? Cuboidal epithelium means what is the shape of them? The cells will be cube shaped. Okay, so where you can see the lining of kidney tubules, ducts of salivary glands, etc. Okay, so what is the function of it? They give mechanical support. Okay, and epithelial tissues, when they are having additional, okay, function of secreting something, secretion of materials, then we call it as what? Glandular epithelium. Okay, what is that? Glandular epithelium. Clear? That is cuboidal cells, cuboidal epithelial tissues, when they, okay, additional specialization means epithelial tissues when they acquire what? Specialization to secrete, or when they are doing secretion, okay, at the epithelial surface. Understood? So this is known as what? Glandular epithelium. Understood? So I told different kinds of epithelial tissues are there. What are they? First is the squamous, or you can classify them into simple and stratified. Simple means only one layer will be there, and squamous means many layers will be there. Okay. Simple itself depends upon the shape of the cells. They are of different types. What are they? Simple squamous epithelium. Okay. Then what else? The columnar epithelium and cuboidal epithelium. Columnar means they are column-like, long cells. Understood? And cuboidal means they are cube-shaped. Okay, so columnar epithelium, you can see where in the inner lining of intestine. Okay, and cuboidal epithelium you can see where examples where you can see is in the kidney tubules and ducts of salivary glands. Okay, and they give mechanical support. And I told, when columnar epithelium is having cilia, then we call it as what? Ciliated columnar epithelium. And when the cuboidal epithelium, they do functions of what? The secretion, then we call it as what? The glandular epithelium. Okay, glandular epithelium. So these are the different kinds of epithelial tissues. So hope this much is very clear. This is revision of the chapter. We have already studied this chapter. So go through the textbook and be prepared for the exam. Thank you.